I'm hoping that seeing what's happening in Iran, a lot of them will just not accept that job. And I'm also hoping, and I don't know if this is true or not, that even if you could do a lot of damage, the damage is a lot more limited than what you were able to do early January when they did the massacre upon the Iranian people. You will be, because you don't have the intelligence, you don't have the eyes, you don't have the command structure, you don't have the networking like the network that ability, communication ability that you had before, everything, because the damage is a lot more limited. Yes, you will shoot a lot of people before they get to you, but it will be so much easier now for the Iranian people to overwhelm you and basically defeat you this time. But yeah, but with regards to your specific question on do we know what has happened to them, we don't have any direct reports, but I'm assuming that they're going to be a lot more difficult to convince them to fight against the Iranian people now, given what they're saying. I mean, and also, oh, a fourth thing that gives me hope is that the people in charge of managing, contacting these people, or telling them, giving them the money, like the operational structure behind making that possible to even bring them here, that might have been taken out as well. So we might not even have a person to be able to make that decision, that here's like a bag of US dollars to give to these militias to even do the job. Like there might not be even a person to make that decision for them. Does that make sense, Mosey?
Yeah, it makes sense. I just had a little follow up. Uh, I was thinking, like, it seems like either whether because of funding and everything, maybe some of these are either been gone into hiding or have even gone back to their countries until they're called up again. It's a possibility that could be. I was
Right.
wondering, like, if it's possible. Like, I know how we're waiting for a time where the war kind of ends, and then there's a call to action by King Reza Pahlavi to come out for that final time. But I was thinking, what if there was a situation where, like, for example, trying to find out your opinion on what would be a situation where, like, if the war is still going on, but some of these places, like some of the cities, we can see the forces are a lot less active than other cities. Like Tehran, they have a lot of forces and checkpoints, but we don't see a lot in some of the other cities. I was wondering, like, would it be logical to say, like, the war is still going on? Israel and the US are still hitting targets, let's just say in Tehran and Isfahan and other places, but like there's a call to action of like nothing being fired in Shiraz or at one other city where people
Mhm.
all come out and try to take that city while the IRGC is still fighting, or trying to be in hiding because there's bombs falling and targeted attacks, but they also have to work to protect a city from falling at the same time.
So this is actually a very good point, because the main battle is for Tehran. When we get Tehran, the whole thing falls. And this is why we have the Sarullah institution under the IRGC. Specifically, the entire point of that is to try to keep Tehran, stopping it from falling into enemy hands, as they're saying. This is why when they get more and more desperate, they will bring more of their forces to Tehran, because once Tehran is, every other city, if they lose it for some time, they can afford to lose it for some time and then regain it. Okay. But they can't afford to lose Tehran. If they lose Tehran for even 5 minutes, then it's over. It's basically the 0 hour of the revolution. So if Iran is getting closer to collapse, they will bring forces from all around Iran to Tehran to keep Tehran. And that's in a situation where you might see in some other areas, some cities, the people basically manage to completely take over a city. This has already happened, by the way, in the previous uprisings. There were cities that were reported as being taken over by the people. The problem is, because it wasn't Tehran, eventually they managed to come and take it back. So I suspect that once we get closer to the final days of this revolution, they will focus so much of their attention on Tehran that the other areas of Iran will be complete takeover by the Iranian people. This time, and Tehran is still in their hands. This time around, what we have to do is to make sure that if we manage to get some of these cities, that we keep it. So those areas. So I could very much foresee like this might be a situation where Tehran is still in the hands of the Islamic Republic, and southern Iran, many cities in the southern Iran, have now been declared as liberated, right? Like this might be the like for example, especially cities closer to the Persian Gulf, where you might even see some American involvement in helping the people to keep those cities. So this might be a north versus south situation at some point where where Tehran and the northern areas is still been taken, and east and north is the Islamic Republic, and south and west, maybe especially the south, is now liberated by the Iranian people. If that happens, even though we don't have Tehran yet, now now the entire south will become a base of our operations to take over Tehran as well. Like we could actually meet and gather and strategize, and I don't maybe even I don't know, train with weapons. I don't know. Like I'm just guessing, right? At that point, if we have areas into Iran where it's now liberated, we could now actually come up with effective strategies and a base of operations to basically liberate the rest. I mean, does that answer your question, Mozi? I don't know if
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
addressing.
it
Yeah,
does. I don't want to take too much time either. I agree with you at this kind of strategy. The only thing I was suggesting was if it was kind of happening like a city at a time, under the cover of war still going on, whether that would reduce casualties on the people, like kind of like wouldn't allow them to get too much forces together to suppress, let's just say,
yeah.
if they know the war is gone, they can try to say, okay, let's send all our forces to Shiraz because, the Shirazis are trying to take over. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff like
But there's
that. That's kind of
but they're
what's.
so limited because if whenever they decide to send their forces to one certain area, then other cities will be defenseless, and then we will take them over, right? Oh, by the way, I also suspect that we might see a situation where Prince Reza Pahlavi comes in to one of these liberated cities, especially in the south, before the Islamic Republic falls. That might also happen.
Yeah, and that would be a big, huge morale. I believe that might actually, like, if they see, if some of these regime members see that some cities have already fallen and the Pahlavi's already back, they might be like, okay, maybe this thing is over, like, basically.
Yeah. That would be a time where maybe more people from the Artesh will start pledging allegiance to Prince Reza Pahlavi if they see that he's actually inside Iran. Yeah.
I Sapir
Okay.
came in earlier and she had an update that right now there are about 150 injured from hits in 2 cities, 10 of them in critical condition, and one of them is a 10-year-old. And we're still trying to find some people.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still have one person on the list and we have 5 minutes, so I think I'm going to skip responses. Jeremy, please go ahead, sir.
Hi, thanks. You can hear me. First of all, thank you to Amin and Goldie, and also Jeffrey and everyone here, because you guys are a sort of like a beacon of sanity in like a very crazy world. I had one question, but I just wanted to make two really quick comments if I can while you're thinking about the answer to the question. The only decent argument I know that I've heard against regime change being possible in Iran that I would like you to comment on if you can is that the IRGC run the entire economy in Iran and all the main things of Iran, and that just if there's tried to be a regime change, then they will sabotage it and not allow it. That's what I was interested in. I just wanted to make two quick comments while you're thinking about that. One, first of all, I just wanted to clear up something last time I was on. I don't know if you remember anyway, but I was trying to argue that how much benefit it will bring the Middle East and the world for the IRGC being replaced with the Iranian people. And part of that argument, I was criticizing the US. I just wanted to say I'm not critical. No, US is complicated, and I'm aware of all the good stuff that the US does, including what they're doing now. I've supported the US before. I've lost a lot of friends, and I've damaged my career supporting the US. So, US is complicated. I understand it's good things. I just want to have a fair and honest opinion of all countries and all people. And the last comment I just wanted to quickly, you were talking about Israel hunting down all the Nazis. I wish they had done all the Nazis, but unfortunately, I think most of the Nazis did actually escape and were used by the CIA and designed the education systems for countries like Egypt. I think even there was a Nazi who led the United Nations. So unfortunately, I think the Nazis are still around and collaborating with the radical Islam. But anyway, I'll get off because I know we're short of time.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the IRGC part. So a lot of people I think here know already that the IRGC is very, it basically controls a major section of Iran's economy. Some people suggest that more than 2/3 of it. I know for a fact that every single industry that gets even significant, like is remotely big inside Iran, if IRGC will come and take it over. Like there's nobody, no private sector company could get big without a takeover by IRGC. Like I know specifically people that had like really entrepreneurs in Iran that as soon as they got somewhat successful, you always get that knock on the door, and eventually you either cooperate with IRGC and you become part of their monopoly like network, or they will destroy you. This is the why you either have to remain very very small and insignificant, or if you're successful, they will eventually you will hear that knock one day. So the private sector in Iran is very, very weak, and it cannot compete with the IRGC, which basically controls every single major industry inside Iran. So the question is, you ask me if it's difficult to get rid of IRGC because of the level of control that it has. Will they be able to sabotage everything? I mean, they might, but at the end of the day, whatever they do, the the businesses are like, there's money to be made. There are people willing to work. Like sabotage how, for example, like blow up the factories? I don't know what we're talking about here. I'm pretty sure like some of them would want to destroy and basically leave scorched earth for us as much as possible. But I mean, after World War II, Germany was really destroyed like under the bombardments. Like Germany was economically under a very very poor condition right after World War II, and now they're the biggest economy in Europe. The number one. They went from being basically, after World War II, Germany went from being absolutely bankrupt with a lot of its infrastructure completely destroyed to now being the biggest economy in Europe. So my point is that if there's the willingness to work, if there's a willingness to make money and do business and generate wealth, and if there's like a national unity and the know-how and the education and the drive and the entrepreneurial spirit to build a country, and with the oil and gas also still being there, and all our other natural resources, and more importantly our human resources, whatever they take away from us, we are going to be able to rebuild it. The economic consequences of whatever sabotage they could do is significantly lower than the economic cost of them staying in power. Like the Iranian people, the cost to our economy of the Islamic Republic continuing to exist for just one more month is so much higher than whatever damage they could do on their way out. Whatever damage they could do on their way out is temporary. Them staying in power and continuing to destroy our natural resources, our environment, our people, our air, everything. They're destroying everything every single year. Like, what amount of sabotage can they
I think the
do?
argument, it's
That
not my argument, but I think the argument was that these people will stay controlling what they control when you try to put in Reza Pahlavi, whoever it is, and then
oh no,
they
there's
will
no
be the
way.
powerful people.
Oh, well, let me actually finish my sentence. Like, there's no amount of sabotage they could do that will be as damaging as them staying in power. One, two, there's absolutely no way. Like, you think the Iranian people are going to tolerate the IRGC staying in power and controlling anything? I'm. You have to be worried if these people will be able to keep their lives. Forget their businesses. There's going to be a debate whether these people are going to be allowed to live. Like, you think these people going to have, the IRGC is going to be given an opportunity to maintain its grip over our economy?
Well, I think
Like,
the argument is that you're not going to be able to just change everything, and that the incoming transitional government's going to have to keep a lot of the current
Oh,
structure in place.
okay. So we're talking two different things. If you're talking, yes, of course we're going to keep the people who are doing the filing, doing the bureaucracy will stay there. The people who are doing the technical work, everybody working for the Islamic Republic is not a crime, and the Prince Reza Pahlavi has communicated that everybody that is working for the Islamic Republic, they will, like, all the people and the lower people that are following orders and doing their job, they will get to keep their job and continue. We're not going to repeat the mistakes of the debathification that happened in Iraq. But those people, those technical people, those are not the people in charge. We're talking, like, you have to separate the IRGC commanders and leaders, the people who actually own these businesses and are basically sucking out the wealth and basically living in mansions, and they have like really, really, like, you have no idea how wealthy these people are. Those people, those are the leaders of IRGC. Those are the ones who have to go. Okay, those people will be lucky if they don't get all hanged. Right? Then what you're talking about, the people that we're going to keep and they're going to keep their work, is the person who's doing the accounting, is the person who's doing the filing, is the person who's, like, I don't know, cleaning the washroom in in the IRGC offices. It's the T guy. Okay, it's the person who does the software. Okay, those people, we're not going to get rid of them. Every single one of those people are going to keep their job, and that's what you need for you to make sure that not everything falls apart. You don't need those leaders that are basically stealing the wealth of our nation for themselves. We're just going to get rid of the leadership. And if you get rid of that, you're not going to be able, even with the people that are basically doing the work within the IRGC and the Islamic Republic, those people are just following orders. They're not going to be able to keep their grip and keep it closed and government control. Right? It's those leaders that do that. And we just need to get rid of them.